everybody. My name is QX. I'm a Sigmanaut. And with me I have Dan Friedman, and he's a Sigma. Is.
Hey,
Whoa!
I'm Dan Friedman. Oh, he switched us.
That was really trippy. That was super
very
trippy. Wow.
You missed. I wanted to be Dan Friedman for a minute. Darn it.
Yeah, sorry. You're not handsome enough to be.
I'm not. I had a couple good lines too. I was gonna spout out.
I am Dan Friedman, and I'm here to bring you just an amazing AMA of of AMA stuff for Ergo. So with me, I got QX and his three favorite boxes to his right.
Oh yeah, those are great. That's a classic example of project managers being awful.
Yeah, it's a classic example of you not putting your shit away.
No. That's out on purpose to remind me to take it to New York City when I go there. Huge project that we did. A lot of stuff, and whoever was I don't want to blame the architect designer, maybe the builders, I don't know. Whoever was putting the floor box plates into the boxes that are showing behind the stage didn't make sure they were going to fit. So it's easier for me to just buy them and install them myself. But classic kind of little punch list stuff that is $3,000 a fix or $200 for me to buy it and take it down there and fix it, kind of thing. So
I have no idea what you're talking about, but
it's okay. How's your week been, Dan? You had a successful Zengate launch, right?
We did a thing. Yeah, we did a thing. We launched a token. For those of you who are been living under a rock. PoW is out and it is live, and yes sir, it used none other than Rosen Bridge to go multi-chain at launch.
That's amazing,
which was really cool. It worked fantastically. So the thing that I was wondering about is how would arbitrage work between the two chains, and it actually worked really well. It works, the price is pretty much the same on both sides, on the Binance side as well as the Cardano side. Staking is working really well on both sides. Just everything really worked out well. I mean, Rosen worked fantastically, and so like I said, I'm very happy to be the first official multi-chain token launch using Rosen. So kudos to the Rosen team, and it was no complaints yet.
Yeah, probably give it time, right?
Yeah, give it time. We'll find something.
So it currently, can you do more stuff? Like, let's say people only really, let's say people enter from the Binance side. Is there a benefit for them to move over to the Cardano side to have more utility with your token at this point, or vice versa?
At this point, first of all, there's more support on the Cardano side. So we just have more support for more wallets. So on the Binance side, I think we got MetaMask support. But it works weird because you would think that Binance works with Binance, but it actually works with Ethereum. And it always confused the shit out of me. Like, why is that? I mean, I know why that is, but I'm just saying it's kind of like a really, really weird UX, QX.
I thought Binance Chain was based off Ethereum, no?
It's based off Ethereum, but like, for example, if you're using a ledger with Binance, you have to turn on the Ethereum app.
Yeah.
Not the Binance app, although they have a Binance app, but that's just for holding tokens. For you to do any kind of smart contract stuff, you have to turn on the Ethereum app.
Oh, interesting.
It's just weird UX. It's just really weird UX. So on the Cardano side, you have a lot more. We also have the community, that's mostly on the Cardano side. So there's that. You have, but really, we try to kind of spread utility evenly. So you can, and you're supposed to be able to do the same stuff on both chains. And so this is what I was talking about in the previous AMA, which why we can't just kind of like, flip a switch and get Ergo support, is because it has to be the exact same stuff on Ergo. And we will eventually we'll put assets on Ergo, but we can't just like move it over, right? It's not as simple as that. If we move it over and it doesn't have the same support, the same utility, then it just becomes it's a problem. It's a problem for regulators. So but on the Cardano side, you got more wallet support. You have more community support.
Are you still giving it away for stake pool rewards as well?
Yeah, and exactly, yes. So on the Cardano side, you still have the ISPO, which is still happening.
Right.
So we don't have that on the Binance side because there's no stake pools in them. Well, there's stake pools, but they don't work the same way as they do on the Cardano side. So
on the Ergo side, would you use like the code from ErgoPad eventually and refactor that, or start from scratch for kind of staking?
I mean, the thing is that I actually talked to Luca about that, and I talked to Luca about the smart contracts on in Paideia or whatever, Padui, however you say it, in a really weird, upstate New York accent.
Padilla.
Yeah, Padilla, whatever. Papadio.
Papaya.
Their smart contracts for staking don't do the same stuff. So it's different type of staking. We have liquid staking, which works differently, or I'm sorry, not liquid, dynamic staking, which works differently. And so for us to actually utilize those contracts, I mean, we'd probably just have to do our own thing over.
Wait, so explain the dynamic staking? I missed that. Explain that.
So basically it's dynamic. It's unlocked staking, but it is and it is divided by I think, what is it, every 7 days. And so it's not delegated staking, where your tokens are locked in the into staking, but it can be unlocked at any time. So there is no there is no wait like you would on like an exchange or something, right? Sometimes if you stake on, like, say, Coinbase,
yep,
it's they call it staking, but they actually lock your tokens up if you stake Cardano tokens. With our staking, although the tokens are locked up for staking, you can unlock them at any time, like instantly. And the only thing is, if you are before the end of that epoch, for the staking epoch, you just don't get those rewards. You have to stay to the end of the epoch. But other than that, it's dynamic staking. And
so it's like ErgoPad, but you'd have to refactor in the epochs.
I mean, there's more, like, there's actually more to it. It's just that's a super simple way of explaining it, but there's more to it. Actually, you can check it out. There's if you go on the Palm Economy socials, you can there are links, and also the Discord as well. Actually, Discord is probably better, because I think Palm Economy, would have to find the tweets where we put in the links for the portals. But on the Discord, you have links readily available, and you can check it out. You can check out. We have like a staking calculator tool that shows you APY or APR, and with a little sliding tool to show you how much, if you stake this much, how much it would come out as, and so on and so forth. And so we already have something like, I think, like 250 million Palm staked. So at current prices, that's about $250,000 already staked in the first couple of days. A little more, actually, more like $300,000 worth of Palm staked, and more is growing. And I spoke to one of our first token holder from way back. And he that it came in at the angel round. So these guys are, these guys are the whales that came in at the angel round, and he's basically saying that I'm not touching this stuff. Well, he's got really long vesting, but also the stuff that he does have right now, it's still, the stuff that unlocked on TGE is also, considering at what they got into, at what price point they get into, is it's considerable. But he says he's not touching it. He's just staking it, and everybody just loves it. Everybody loves the staking, and it's really good. It's a great design. The UI is really good. UX is great. We're supporting, I think, all the major wallets right now. They just enabled support for Eternal. So yeah, it's really, the rollout has been actually pretty smooth. It's considering what we had to do. Yeah, I'm really happy with everything, and then, of course, it wasn't just like a flip of a switch type of thing. Um, we had to make sure that market making is done properly. We have to make sure that liquidity is supplied properly, just to make sure that everything is stable. Because a lot of times Cardano projects as well as Ergo projects, they'll launch a token, and which is fine, and they just kind of like launch it into the wild, and bam, there you go, and they don't really do anything to it. And of course, on the Ergo side, it's not as crucial, I guess, to have a market maker, because you just don't have that huge amount of volume that could do anything that they can do anything with. On Cardano, you still don't have, like volumes like you would on, on the, Ethereums of the world when you're launching an asset. But it's still obviously, it's like I think we're getting something like about $150,000 worth of volume a day. And so there is probably about $350,000 worth of liquidity backing the token on the Cardano side. And I think maybe like 150 on the Binance side. So yeah, you have to make sure that all these things are really kind of worked out, to make sure that nothing crazy happens to it, like, that there's support for people that, they want to do what they want to do. They get your token, you do what you want to do with it, but it doesn't, doesn't beat the system up too much. You don't have too many huge swings that really kind of freak people out. So yeah, it's been, I mean, we're still in the middle of it. Everybody's probably had like 4 hours of sleep at the most the past few days, including me. And you see, I am wearing my Palm t-shirt today. And yeah, I was so tired today that, and pretending that I'm not, that when I was at the office, I was wearing this t-shirt. And so I have two types of these t-shirts. One is just got the Palm logo right here, and the other one's got the Palm logo, and it's got a thing on the in the back says, "Keep Palm and tokenize RWAs." And so Maureen and Luca were at a dev meeting today. They have these daily dev stand-ups. And so we have a conference room at the office, which is it's like a big glass wall, but it's its own room. And so they're in the room, and I'm about to leave the office to go and take care of some errands, and I'm just walking out, and they're all at the big TV talking to our head of development, and I'm kind of standing there, and I'm saying bye to everybody, and then I point to the back of the shirt, and I'm like, check it out, yeah, see. Everybody's looking at me weird. And then when I walk outside, I realized that I wasn't wearing the shirt with the stuff on the back. So I was just basically pointing at the blank blackness of my t-shirt. And people thinking like, what the fuck is the deal with this guy? And of course they played it off like, oh, it's okay, Dan, it's okay. And I'm like, oh.
And
yeah,
here you are, 11 o'clock at night, Japan time, coming out for the video, Dan, for the AMA. Look at you. Sacrificing.
Well, it's okay. I'm not probably going to sleep till about 2 a.m. because there's a million other things to do. But yeah, that was fun, pointing at a blank T-shirt. And yeah, that's that's the kit and caboodle right there.
Well, that sounds exciting. I'm excited for the opportunity to see Palm come to Ergo and utilize PoW. That's you know, I think that's going to be really cool. Are there any other what's it called? What's governance look like on the other chains? Like with PoW, you can essentially do things with the treasury collectively as you stake. Is that something that is beneficial to Palm in the future?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Because what we have is called the Palm DAO that we're actually going to be rolling out really soon. And yeah, I mean, we'd like to utilize tooling for that on on all chains on Ergo as well. But we still need to kind of work that out. We haven't really done tooling for it on the Cardano side either. We have things standing by, so it's not going to be a big lift, a heavy lift to get this thing going. But really, it's not just about the tooling; it's about setting up the ecosystem that supports this. And really setting up the processes that for proposals and for voting and for all the different iterations of it. So yeah, so that's going to take a bit of time. So first of all, the Palm DAO is going to have the funding rounds. It's sort of like Catalyst, but it's going to be a little bit more spontaneous. And so basically, people are going to be able to submit a proposal from, eventually from the Ergo side as well. Right now, from the Cardano side and from the Binance side, when we build it out on there as well, and then get it voted on by Palm holders that are part of the DAO. Just to that if they feel that this proposal is in line with expanding of the ecosystem, because basically what it is decentralized business development.
right.
So that's what it's aimed for. So
How are you
yeah,
going to manage? I mean, how are you going to manage three different governance, or how many ever chains you expand to? How are you going to manage those kind of governance
I mean,
roll-ups
it's the
from
same
different
with
things?
stake. It's the same as it is with staking. We're just gonna have to build it out the same on all the chains. It's going to have to be able to do the same exact thing in all the chains.
Right.
It's not easy, but I mean that's what it is going multi-chain. I mean you have to go multi-chain if you want to reach a wider audience. You have to be able to do all this stuff
And
multi-chain.
you feel the UX would be too difficult, or not too difficult, undesirable if you just force them to one set of governance on a chain using Rosen. Like if you want to practice participate in governance for Paul, then hop on Rosen and stake in Padea or something like that. That'd be too much of a UX
Well,
hassle for some of these people.
I think that we can actually do it the other way. They can do it natively on the chains that they're on, and then we can use Rosen to kind of put it all into one place when the time comes to utilize things. So maybe like the heart of it can be on one chain. It could, for example, be on Ergo, and then all the votes they can come from all the different chains, but they go through Rosen and they end up on Ergo.
Yeah, yeah,
And like it doesn't have to be. I mean, what I mean is the UX has to be the same, right? But the technology, I don't. Well, at that point, I don't know because it's going to be. Yeah, we have to kind of flesh that out a little bit better because the DAO would actually have to be incorporated, right? It would have to actually be a like an entity for it to work properly, on, in real life as well. So like these things that are like the contracts that go through the DAO are actually enforceable by law. Because
right.
you can't just like trust me, bro, this kind of stuff. You have to actually.
Classic. Trust
Yeah,
me.
no,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, these are on-chain contracts, right? But you have to be able to actually have a tool in the real world to says that the on-chain contract is enforceable, right? Legally
Yeah.
enforceable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, interestingly enough, in Japan, they've developed tooling like this, regulatory tooling like this. So we're actually thinking about establishing the DAO in Japan. And yeah, and so like I said, it's gonna go. What we need to do is we need to understand if not, it's not really centralizing it, but keeping the DAO the heart of the DAO on one chain, but then having people from other chains coming in and voting on the DAO through the bridge. What do we have to have on other chains for it to actually be, compliant with regulations?
Gotcha.
I don't think we're gonna have to build it out on every single chain like fully,
Yeah.
but there's gonna be some sort of like a minimum requirement of what needs to happen on each chain for it to work in a legal manner and
Yeah, I mean,
compliant.
you could, I could see you using Rosen semi-transparently in the background so that the user interacts with some sort of contract on the chain and their token is transferred to a lock in Rosen and actually staked in Padilla and then sent back with a batch of bots eventually. Yeah, you could, yeah, do that fairly transparently. Not going to be fast, but it would
Yeah, I
work,
mean,
I
but
guess.
it doesn't really have to be fast, you know? I
No,
mean,
right, right.
even with Rosen right now, like arbitrage takes, like what did we do? We sent through the first batch of liquidity going to Pancake Swap,
Yep.
and that took a couple of hours, it took a couple of hours to go through, but I mean, and so what? So what if it did? For the applications that we're utilizing them for, that's fine. I mean, like finality at this, like in this particular case, is not that big of a deal because you, like, for example, on if you're using a DAO, right, where you and say we build the DAO on Ergo, and then you have Cardano, Ergo, and Binance and whatever other chains we decide to add support for vote in the DAO, right? I mean, that vote doesn't have to happen like this, right? It could take a little bit of time for this whole thing to propagate through Rosen, end up on Ergo, and then execute the smart contract on Ergo, and
Right,
which
right.
will then, which will then basically tally up and fix the votes, and then execute whatever conditions that contract has. Yeah, so it should be fine. I mean, as far as tech goes, it's just all about compliance wise. Like I said, it's a real thing, right? It's not just like, well, it's kind of cool, it's not just cool tech. It's actually like a real entity, it's going to be a real DAO. It's going to be an incorporated entity that is compliant with regulation, that creates contracts, on-chain contracts that are illegally enforceable. It's it's the big pants type of deal right here.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's exciting. Very exciting, Dan, for so late at night.
You look really excited right now, QX.
I am. It's my early morning, so I'm still waking up.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
let's see.
The Kraken noon. Yeah.
I know. Well, we got some big announcements so far. We got um for the Sigmanauts mining pool, Mark developed a really sexy dashboard. It's called ergominers.com and it's very newish kind of looking. So it really blends in even above and beyond some of the other major players out there with dashboards. So if you're a miner or if you're, somebody that just wants to dabble in it, even if you're just a gamer and you want to tune your computer over at nighttime while you're not playing a game or during the day while you're working, check out the Dash. It's pretty damn cool. It's quite the upgrade from the old Dash and a huge upgrade from the simple Dash that we started out with. So yeah, kudos to Mark for doing that. The other big news, Dan, is we have launched the official date for the 2025 Colorado Springs
Oh
Ergo
yeah, I
meetup.
saw that. I saw it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, October 10th, 11th, and 12th. So the main thing is the 11th. People get there the 10th. We'll do something, and then maybe breakfast on the 12th when everybody goes home. But we're open sourcing it just like the rest of Ergo. So if you are in the Ergo chats, head to look for, I guess I'll pin it in a second, but look for the pin and there's a GitHub where the information is for now. And anybody can fork and do pull requests on that sign up page as well as the MD file explaining everything to offer suggestions about what to do, help with planning, all that kind of stuff. So I encourage you to go over to that on the GitHub and participate, sign up, throw in some suggestions of what to do if you know the area. And that kind of stuff. So I thought that was Jamai had the actual idea to put it on GitHub. So that's what I did. I I don't think there's any other event or community that works like that. So it's really fun to see. Let me see what we have already. We have. Do I have any no pull requests yet? We have just one pull request I did last night for some suggestions as well as a sign up. So head over there and do it. If you don't know how to do a pull request, you're welcome to send me the data, and I'll put it up there for you to sign yourself up.
You have but a pull request to pull up your pants, QX. That's
I'm not wearing any pants.
Well, exactly. So just like fix that. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I mean I see the question up there from
let me see.
From where is it? High quality Ergo. Uncle Dan wins 650K worth of Palmerinos. We still haven't forgotten about that. That is going to come. Soon, like I said, as soon as the Ergo support is added,
checks in the mail.
Yeah, the check's in the mail. Except it's like Pony Express. No, but seriously, I mean, that is we're doing that. It has not been forgotten. So we've
talked about doing a roundtable on Cardano, Dan. So we may come to you, knocking.
Yeah, well, make sure it's like really a round table, because people say it's a round table, but sometimes they're rectangular, and it just really fucks with me. It screws with my OCD. So just make sure it's like round table.
Cute, Dan. Cute.
I know, it's adorable. All
right, what else do we have for questions? Actually, we have. Let me see. I think Kushti had a subblocks update. Let's see. He's got some rough protocol working, tested with 2 pairs, still a lot of work towards improving efficiency. So he's still cranking away on subblocks, which is great. And he's working on Node 6.0. I think he said last week, I don't know if it made the AMA, that we have a full sync of Node 6 RC3, I believe, with mainnet. And I think some others are starting to hop on and test it. So that's looking great. For anybody who's running a node right now, and you're running it on an SSD and not some old platter drive or a small Raspberry Pi with an SSD, I encourage you to go to 5125, I think it is, the ROX database version. It's going to require a full node resync, but wow, it's quite a bit faster. I updated the main, the secondary Ergo Explorer that I run to that, and it's a big difference in fetch times for mining wallets, for smart contracts and that kind of thing that usually take a second to load. So I encourage you node runners, if you're doing that, hop over to that. I don't know if Citergo switched to ROX as a default, but if he didn't, maybe it'd be great to encourage him to give that option when you spin up a database to see which one you can use to sync to. So yeah, that's really cool. What else? All right, what do we got for questions, Dan the man?
All right, what do we got for questions? We got a
lot of shit given us in the channel, so maybe
but I think it's the same guy. You know who you are.
It's a big 3D. Yeah.
Multiple accounts because he wants some attention. Actually, well, so here's one. Maybe Sigs will help with the LP on the Ergo side. Just saying. So I wanted to make it clear that it's really not that we are trying to neglect Ergo. It's really not at all. I mean, obviously, we are bullish on Ergo. We built a bunch of the stuff on Ergo. It's still on Ergo.
Winter Protocol is on Ergo. That's what you say, Dan.
We launched Ergo technology. So the only thing, like I said, is we need to add staking support, the same type of staking support on Ergo before we can actually bridge the tokens and bring them to Ergo through Rosen. So that's the only thing. And at this point, we just have quite a bit of stuff that is being built out. We're actually expanding our dev team to give us more support.
Oh, who are you stealing now? You already have Louis Vatra. You stole Louis Vatra.
No. We're done poaching. We're done poaching you guys. Maybe. I mean, if somebody else comes around, we'll poach them too, and they're gonna,
And now Crux is never going to get finished with Avatra.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I got to do my weekly shout out. Hey, Marty, please fix the UI on the front of Padilla. You got some updates to do, buddy. Hopefully he watches this week and not last week. I don't know, but
Marty, wherever you are, it's like
yeah.
that thing in Anchorman, when he like blows the horn and it just like it's heard across the mountains, and then his little dog is like bathing in it, like runs out of the little creek in the woods. Well, Marty is somewhere in Canada bathing,
in a steam hut, ice bath. Yeah.
Yeah. Is in an ice bath, and he hears, Paideia crew, assemble, assemble. QX saying that, and he's like, what? Oh my God, I have to fix the tooling. Darn it. Because he's Canadian. It's A. Anyway, so I know it's a bit of a tangent, but yeah, that's how I saw it in my mind when you gave the shout out. So to get back to high quality Ergo, like I said, we fully intend to add. It's not a problem of the actual liquidity being added to Ergo, right? It's not a problem with like, oh, we just don't have the money to put there. It's really all about making sure that it's it's compliant with regulation. That's all. It's just for the protection of the ecosystem.
Well, maybe you can publish the requirements, Dan, and then maybe some developer would give a base there.
I'll have that conversation with Sam and with Luca. Well, Luca at the office tomorrow. He's in Japan right now, hanging out. Did you know that?
Luca's in Japan?
Yeah. Luca's been in Japan for weeks now. He's going to be here for quite a while. He's staying at the Zengate corporate apartment right near the office, and having a time of his life.
Nice. Very nice. Is MG Pie joining you this summer as well?
So yeah, we're gonna try to get him out as well. We're gonna see, but yeah, MG Pie. Well, he was out here for a couple of months. Last year?
Yep.
Or I don't know if it was quite a while. I forgot if it was a couple of months, but it was quite a while.
He's probably got to come back and see his kids. I mean, I'm sure they should be born by now, right?
MG Pie.
Yeah. All right. Well, some more questions, Dan.
QX.
It was a failed joke. It was a failed joke that MG Pie is living it up when he's in Japan, and then he's got to come back and face his consequences.
Oh. Womp
womp womp. All right, let's answer some of these insults. I feel like getting insulted. This is great.
All right, let's do it.
We've got all right, you go first. I'll go the one after you. Palm was promised 4 CEXs, and a few days later can't even get listed on CoinGecko. You take that, I'll take the next one.
Yeah. So it's like when girls, you go out with girls and then they kind of
no, you can't make that. You can't make that analogy to the big 3D. He has no idea.
Oh yeah, he does. I forgot. He doesn't. Yeah, he.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot. Okay. We already did, but it's a secret, and it is a game like Magic the Gathering, and then you have to find the 4 sexes and collect them like the 4 rings of power in the Lord of the Rings.
That might do it, Dan.
Okay. There we go.
I understood that.
CoinGecko, on a serious note, CoinGecko should be up any day now. We actually submitted the application a couple of weeks ago, but it takes a couple of weeks for them to get it going. So that should be like literally. I'm checking CoinGecko to see if they
and I can't stand those listings just because as soon as it happens, the bots come into all the chats, they look for all the admins, and you get about 50,000 DMs saying, "Hey, I'm Billy Bob, but yes, let me help you out." Kind of,
let me help you. I am professional.
So annoying. I know.
I like administrating. I am very impressed with your project.
Yeah, impressed with your project. Yep. Yeah. And they don't even name the project. They're just they can't even get their bot to scrape the name of the chat.
I do get the bots on Telegram sometimes. They're like, "Wow, Dan, I'm really impressed with the performance on Ergo." I would like to help you. I'm like, oh, thanks. That's really, really nice of you, whoever you are. And then sometimes they'll be like, because I'm in Japan, so they'll just send the Japan bots to me, but they're gonna be like really crappy Japan bots that speak Japanese, not like the Japanese. So it's like broken, shitty Japanese, but they have a Japanese name. Like, yeah, you're real, sure. Like,
Oh
like
gosh.
the first thing they always do is I am blah blah blah, right? But in Japanese, you hardly ever say I am blah 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 because it's actually rude to keep saying I am, right? Well, it's rude, but it's also just like colloquially incorrect.
Uh-huh.
So the way you speak, you seldom say I am, right? Like that's actually it's kind of like a joke with the Japanese because like foreigners when they start just speaking Japanese, I am in Japanese watashi wa, and then like they'll always make fun like behind, like if you get them like in the right moment, they'll make fun of foreigners speaking Japanese like watashi wa American des. Because that's how the foreigners, like Americans sound to them. But yeah, so they always come in and they start with watashi wa. I'm like, yup, you're Japanese, definitely. That's why you start with I am, which the Japanese hardly ever start with or even ever start with in that kind of conversation. But anyway,
All right.
that's a fun fact for you, QX, next time you want to
Thank
speak
you.
Japanese.
I will do that. All right. Next
Go to the
question,
next
big
one.
3D. QX, where Kraken? Where Kraken? All right, here we go. You ready? Hopefully nobody from Kraken is watching this. I'll give it to you guys straight. All right. We have two pathways into Kraken, potentially. The first pathway was a chat joined by myself, Armenio, Kushti. I think Cannon was there, with the Dave. I think it's Dave. Dave Brumfield from Kraken, right? It took a while to get Dave to recognize that we didn't have a Ethereum contract ID that we weren't a token on Ethereum, essentially. And once that was established, there was some back and forth about what would be best to list, and that would be Rosen on Ethereum, Rosen on Cardano, or Erg Layer 1. It's obvious Erg Layer 1 is a long ways out because it's a lot of work for them, and there's not a lot of monetary reward for them to do that work. So that is on the very low end of the totem pole for Layer 1. Rosen token, though, Rosen Erg on Cardano or Ethereum is going to be much, much easier to list. Rosen Erg on Cardano is probably the best option because we have quite a bit of liquidity on the Cardano side, and we have more wallets. And compared to some tokens they've listed recently, they listed a wrap token, the Flux wrap token. We have more volume than they do on the Cardano. Our Cardano volume on Rosen Erg is more than the Ethereum volume of Flux. So we match that. But the thing that we don't match is we don't match wallet holders, and that's it, I guess. We don't match wallet holders. Flux has 10,000 wallet holders on Ethereum. We have about 500 on Cardano. So the SIGs are working on a promotion, a faucet, and things like that to get our wallet count up. Once we get our wallet count way up, we will develop a market making plan and then approach Dan again in that same chat, not Dan, Dave, and let them know that we're here at what they suggested our requirements should be. And by then, too, they should be done refactoring the Cardano update that happened like a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, Dan, whatever that big update was that they were fumbling around with on the Kraken side to get native tokens ready. So that's one pathway. The second pathway, and I have no NDA signed, so I don't give a shit right now, is a bribe. Literally somebody on the outside that has a connection with the inside that would like a finder's fee for getting us into a suggestion, right? And that is around $50,000. Okay, and that doesn't guarantee that we get in. We could be exactly at the same place we are in the chat with Dave and Kushti, where they're saying, "Oh, we need your wallet count up to this," and that kind of thing. So that's something that I'm not even looking to pursue at this time, because it's it could be a huge waste of money at that point, and it's so shitty too. So there you go. There you have it. Those are the plans. Sigmanauts are going to come up with a way to engage the Cardano community to get our wallet count up, whether it means a lot of Ergonauts porting over some ergs to Cardano, with us helping pay fees maybe, or some incentive for that, as well as some other things that I won't say on the recording. So there you go, Big 3D. All right, what else we got, Dan?
Oh, this is actually interesting. We were just talking about this. Can Palm overtake Ergo in market cap soon? I was actually, I think I was talking to Luca about that today, maybe. Like, I don't know how I'd feel about that. Like, I'm so conflicted. You know, I mean, yeah, it would be great if Palm has the market cap or the size, the ecosystem size that Ergo has. But I want, I want Ergo to be bigger. It's just that I don't know which one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there is no. They both feel kind of like I want it to be as big as Ergo, or it would be really cool if it was actually bigger than Ergo, but it wouldn't be also at the same time, because then why is Ergo not? Like, why?
It's like that. It's like that scene in Total Recall, and you're missing a third hand, Dan. I totally get what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, that's actually a weird trend on TikTok right now.
Wait, really? What, the Total Recall third hand?
Yeah, like the three-breasted woman.
Stop.
It totally is. My wife was showing me. She's like, "Is this real?" I'm like, "There's zero chance it's real. It's AI." But it's a trend on. I think it's on TikTok or Instagram or something, where
That's
they
funny.
got these like three-breasted models that are just popping up everywhere, and it's just odd. And actually, a
Perfect.
lot of people don't know where that's from because they're not old enough.
Yeah.
So some because I told my wife, she's like, look at this. Like, oh, you mean like what is that? What are they trying to like make it look at the girl from Total Recall? She's like, what? Oh my God.
Wait, did they not put that in the re-release, the new version?
Yeah, but they didn't though, because
That's not in the new version, right? Okay.
the new version doesn't. I don't think. No, actually, no, they do have one. I think they do. I think they have one. Yeah, I think they do have it. But
One was Colin
on
Farrell, right?
yeah. But the new Total Recall doesn't go to Mars. Get your ass to Mars. Like
Oh, right. It's all like through the center of the planet or something, to the other side of the
which
planet.
actually, at first, I actually didn't like that movie, but it grew on me. Like, because I'm a huge fan of the original, of Paul Verhoeven original.
Yeah.
But when I saw like the new Total Recall, I'm like, what is this shit? This is bullshit. Why he doesn't even go to Mars? But then it just grew on me. It's actually a pretty okay movie. It's interesting. Yeah, but anyway, you know, so right now Palm is at what? We haven't calculated the market cap yet, actually. FDV right now is at about 80 million. So I think that makes Palm like maybe 10, something like that, like 10 millions. I honestly, I would have to calculate it, but I think it's like 10, maybe a little bit more.
So you got a six times to get the Ergo. It's
Yeah,
62K,
yeah.
right?
So
62
if it does a
million right now.
6x and Ergo doesn't do anything, then yeah, it could do that. But like I said, I don't know how I'd feel about that. Like on one side, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is great. On the other side, I'm like, but damn it, like why? What, come on, Ergo, do something, do something, like, move it, man. Come on, come on. The Palm is catching up to you. Come on, man. Anyway,
All
yeah.
right.
So like that's something like literally a conversation that I had today.
We got another question from Matus Bor. Yeah, you got it. Hello, fellow Ergonauts. I was wondering if anyone is actively targeting the gaming community. It would be interesting to onboard people who can mine while they are not playing games. Yeah, Mark the Shark. I think that's a good approach too, to target those gamers. I'm looking at Mark's dashboard, and he's got a nice little bar graph that's a progress bar that essentially says, hey, in order to get bonus tokens, you need to mine for 4 out of 7 days or something like that of the epoch of the week. So that's something that could easily be done by a gamer who, when they go to bed, they just double click on the executable and walk away. And when they come back to the machine to game, they stop the executable, they game, they do what they need to do, and then they double click on them. So that mining doesn't have to be persistent, right? It can be done just on their spare time. So yeah, Mark the Shark, Matus. I think that's a great idea. That
You know what? Actually, I actually saw something that could be really interesting for this. And I don't know if this game is still around or has been developed or whatever, and if it's actually in it's worldwide or maybe it's just in Japan. But there was a game that they kept advertising on on the phone, whenever you use like other, when you use like the free apps that have the commercials in them. And it was called, I think, Idle Heroes, something like that. And basically the thing about it was that it didn't have any like active gameplay. A lot of the gameplay was passive gameplay. So you would set it up, right? And then it would actually, like, when you turn off your phone, the gameplay would happen and like the battles would happen and stuff like that. And then like you'd have to turn off your phone and turn the game off for your characters to evolve, right? Because they have these like characters that would evolve when your phone, it's like sort of like Pokemon, like Pokemon's when they like evolve to become like, I don't know, more scary Pokemons.
right.
It was kind of the same concept. I actually always thought that would be really interesting for gamifying mining.
No, I think you're right. So you'd feed your characters with hash points that you've earned, essentially, or
But
shares that you've collected.
Play. You
No,
set
correct.
up, you tell them what to do, and then you put it into some passive mode where it still mines, and you just kind of whatever you do, you can, through gamification you can select the type of mining or
Yeah.
the rate of
Yeah,
mining,
no.
whatever, right? And then it'll grow the character, and then you get rewards through the game. Always thought that was actually a really interesting way to gamify and incentivize mining through different devices through gameplay.
That might
So,
be your
but I
best
never
idea yet, Dan. Better than Palm.
then nothing is better than Palm.
Better than RWS. No, so that's like the games I used to play, the text-based web games I used to play in the early 90s, where you just go to a website and you'd build up your army slowly, and then you'd choose to attack somebody, and then when you came back, you'd learn the results of the battle, or else, well, you were away from the computer, somebody attacked you, kind of thing. It's all just database stats hitting against stats like that. So yeah, that's a really cool idea. Feed them with your bonus points are the shares that you pull from your mining pools, and that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean the big farms would be able to murder you, so you'd have to have some sort of equalizer out there, right? But or some sort of diminishing return for the huge farms that are playing. But yeah, that's a really cool idea. You could probably Mark can probably vibe code that in a couple days, so maybe he'll do that.
Yeah, I think it's actually not that hard to code. It's just the actual graphics. It just has to be aesthetically pleasing. It has like you have to like it just has to look cool, right? But that's just art, and we got artists in the community, so they could actually do that. It shouldn't be a difficult thing to do. But yeah, I just always thought that would actually be a really good way to incentivize mining, and especially with Ergo, where you can actually use all these different devices for mining.
Yep.
You could do that. Like, I think actually they used to do something similar with Bitcoin way back in the day, where there's like an app that I forgot exactly what it did, but it was basically like an app where you would watch advertisements, and the more advertisements you'd watch, they'd pay you in Bitcoin for watching advertisements.
Awesome.
You know?
Oh, I got 6 more minutes before I have to go. Let's bang these questions out, Dan.
Okay,
All right, Mark says that's what he's kind of working on with Hashmons, and CA has the art ready to go. So it'll be more of a text-based stat kind of initial thing, which I think is a great way to start it. Awesome. All right. Wendy Moon says, do you think Ergo will get more attention when the emission reaching almost zero as the only proof of work chain does not rely on emission? You said it in the end, Wendy. You said it in the last part of your sentence. I think Ergo is going to get even more attention when people realize that Ergo has actually thought of the end game. They thought of sustaining a chain after emission tails, you know? So I think that's a big plus for Ergo. And you see it now. If you head over to the SIGs mining pool, you'll see, I think Mark said he distributed 98 ergs, or there's close to that in the wallet the other week from storage rent alone, plus bonus tokens as well. And things like hopefully in the future where you'll be able to do token releases through miner protocols, right? So somebody like Dan could give, you know, a couple 100,000 tokens to Mark, and people that would be mining would then be released those tokens to it. So yeah, ICOs via mining. I mean, what more fair ways are coin releases and offerings initially for people actually putting in the raw labor to keep the chain secure. So I don't know why there's not more of that, honestly. I don't know why token launches are, at least on proof of work chains, why token launches are done through these token launching platforms as opposed to, you know, feeding it out to the miners, and then the miners are welcome to sell it, and then the community can buy it from the DEX kind of thing. So yeah. But yeah, Wendy, I think that's a huge thing that's going to put Ergo above everybody else eventually when they look at it. All right, we got a bunch of things. You see anything else?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's a couple of Palm questions. I don't know, but let's see. Do we have any Ergo questions? I mean, I'd be more than happy to answer Palm questions, but I want to answer Ergo questions.
I'll see. Luke Graysmith says, will we protect foreigners and Canadian people from ICE if they attend Colorado meetings? And Mark says it best, Colorado is open carry. Perfect.
Yep. There you go. There you go. So yeah, don't fuck with Colorado.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. A personal question. Body Max Fitness, who I think is a big 3D, maybe. Fitness, QX, would you ever leave Ergo? At what point do you say enough? I'm moving on. There's nothing to move on to, guys. There's nothing else in the ecosystem or in the space that does what Ergo does, right? Even I see Ergo in my own use as a utility here on campus, right? It's right now it's integrated into our charging system for plot billing, and I just saw 2 students pay for plots with Brick while we were in this meeting. You can see it on the chain if you're looking. It's going to be integrated into a DAO eventually as well. Nothing else. I can't do that with anything else, I don't feel. So no, I don't think there's a point in my immediate future where I think of Ergo as a failure ever. I mean, even if let's take a hypothetical. Let's say the crypto market goes through a really cold winter, a lot of things disappear. Ergo goes down to an all-time low, like everything else. I'm still going to be using Ergo to do my stuff here. I'm still going to be building on it. So that's the resilience of Ergo compared to other chains where you have somebody with a big fat wallet holding a lot of tokens that all of a sudden decides it's not worth it and move on. So no, the answer is no. There's nothing in my immediate there that or my future that says I'm done. All right, we got 1 minute.
1 minute and then, ignition. All right. Let's see. All right. So what should we answer here? The last thing that we should answer.
Lord Black gave a shout out to Erg. Awesome. Anybody else mining with AI cards? No, I think from what I heard, Lord Black, I think Mark and Cannon were talking to somebody about it. I can't remember. But the problem with the AI farms right now, because the thought was, right, hey, let's let's use these, let's advertise to these AI farms that they can also mine cryptocurrency on their downtime when they're not being fully utilized. But as of yet, from what I understand, the AI farms are getting pounded just relentlessly, and there's no overhead, there's no space that they can actually do that yet. So maybe in the future, right, when AI gets more optimized, I think OpenAI just came up with something that said that was a case with one of their new models. You'll have some space that maybe we can start pinging these guys and saying, hey, you guys should mine some cryptocurrency while you're not doing AI. I know, what is it? Armanio's working on some idea where he's got something on the back burner in his head about utilizing AI and a side chain for specifically for that kind of thing. For all these cards that are no longer useful for AI, might still be useful for mining and are still very, very much powerful. Can mine a side chain. Yeah. And Lord Black, yeah, I'm running like 20 nodes. No, more like probably 10, but yeah. And just a shout out again to Satirgo for anybody who wants to get into the node market. Super easy desktop wallet, one-click node install. Really, really nice and easy.
All right. Well, I think we heard enough about your node there, QX.
Yes.
All right. Well, what do you got to go?
I gotta go. I gotta go, guys.
All right. Well, I guess
It's great to
that's
see
all for this
everybody.
week. QX needs to run, probably to the boys' room.
No, I'm
And
meeting.
yeah, so I guess we'll wrap it up from here for now. All right. Well, so next week, same time, same place, same channel. And until then, this is Dan, barely alive but still kicking from Japan, with QX, who you can almost call a man
We're getting
when
there.
you can. Signing off.
Ciao, everybody.